Beautiful day, Patriots. How are you? We're going to talk about the happiest place on earth. We're going to continue our studies with etymology, America's history, the English language, and the witchcraft spell that we are all under as we speak. And as I said, we're going to look at the word and talk about the word Disney. There's so many people that decode Disney movies, they're cartoons. So there's no need for me to talk about that. Other than I'll use one example to show how they use Satan and the devil in their movies. The 101 Dalmatians. Every parent shows their kid this movie, and the lady, Cruella de Vil, well, her name in French, translated just strictly to French, is the cruelest devil. Okay, so they name their characters in a child cartoon the cruelest devil that steals baby dogs, which is dogs is God backwards. So anyways, let's go ahead and we're going to look at the word Disney. I grew up in Southern California, so I went to Disneyland many times. My grandfather managed a hotel across the street from Disneyland, literally across the street, so we went there quite a bit. Cliff note, my grandfather looked exactly like Walt Disney. It's a coincidence, he died when I was very young, around 8 years old, so but his pictures and memories as I look at Walt Disney are identical. Spitting images. Now, anyways, let's move forward with Disneyland. I, as a child, did not like Disneyland. I can remember terrible, frightening experiences. At the hotel, I can remember when Disneyland across the street would send off their fireworks at night. I was petrified. Let's see, when we would go into Disneyland, when we would go to, just the rides terrified me. Let's move forward. Disney. Walt Disney. Everybody feels like it's wholesome to go to Disneyland, and that, they put their children in all these clothes, and you even see adults constantly have Walt Disney clothes on, and people spend incredible amounts of money. Walt Disney and Disneyland, the Disney product is all over the world. It is absolutely everywhere. And they say it's the greatest place on earth. And like I say, so many people have decodes of Disneyland and all their products and all kinds of things. There's no need for me to do those things. I'm going to show you how etymology, witchcraft, and the English language is what America is based off of. I know you don't believe that, but we just will continue with our studies until it finally clicks. The English language is a witchcraft language made by Satan, designed for witches to keep the human population in a speak and spell witchcraft spell. Moving on to Disney. We can see the word Disney is spelt like this. Walt Disney. Disney is his last name. Disney is the name of the place. Yes? Disneyland. Let's mirror this and see what we can see. The first thing I see right off the bat is yen is money in Japan, and SID is a abbreviation for LSD, the mind-altering hallucinogenic drug. Disclaimer, very experienced in these things. Now, back to Disney backwards. We can see that why, and what is it? Disney just a visual, like acid makes people see and do. Okay, now let's break this down a little bit more. Etymology. Etymology is the study of words by taking the consonants and breaking them down and studying them, seeing where the word originated from. Words come from places. They take parts of different words from different languages, they combine them together and put them into a new word, which is called the English language. Disney spelled backwards? If we sit there and break ye, we know ye is you. Ye is the word, if you look up in the dictionary, is you. Also, the abbreviation for you is just Y. Just Y. Ye. This is the name of a new person that President Trump has invited into the White House many a times. His name is Ye now. Officially Ye, which means you. So now let's go forward. Ye is you. Y is you. E-N-S. Is that a word, do you think? E-N-S? E-N-S? Do you think that's a word? Well, if we do our own research, we would do stuff like this. We would have thoughts. We would think about it. We would go investigate. We would grab our research materials, everything offline, and we would come up and we would look at ENS. And we can read the definition. It's an abstract thing. The being of a thing. Number 2, something supposed by alchemists, which are witches. Alchemists are witches and warlocks and scribes. Again, I'll repeat. Number 2, something supposed by alchemists to condense within itself all of the virtues and qualities of a substance from which it is extracted. So, Disney backwards is you, an existence of being, an entity, you entity, or you is an alchemist that's condensing everything, not making you grow. If you were in the happiest place on earth, you'd be growing. But if we mirror it backwards, it's saying it's condensing. The alchemists, the witchcraft is condensing. Is it your brain? I don't know. ID. What is ID? Everybody knows what ID is. That's just, identification, right? It's just identification. Like, show me your COVID backwards ID VOC. But that's a different subject, different word. We're talking about ID. Show me your papers. Show me your ID. But ID has other meanings also. Yes, it does. ID right here is a short. Okay, ID. A hypothetical structural unit of living matter resulting from the successive aggregation of biospheres and determinants. There's a second one. Look at the second identification for ID. The primitive, undifferentiated part of the psychic apparatus that reaches blindly on a pleasure-pain level. It is the seat of psychic energy and is the ultimate source of higher psychic components as ego and superego. What is it? The primary undifferentiated part of the psychic apparatus that reacts blindly on the pleasure pain. Reacts blindly on the pleasure pain. As I repeat, when I went to Disney, that's all I saw. My visual would cause me pain. I cried on the Pirates of the Caribbean like you couldn't believe. Of course, the haunted house. Nothing about that place gave me any kind of visual pleasure. It was always pain. Most people are seeing visual pleasure. But I'm sure these are just a coincidence that Disney spelt backwards is you are being alchemist put in condensing into a psychic pleasure pain situation. I'm sure it's a coincidence. If I was you, I would just go right back to sleep, think about what kind of gifts and TVs and videos and things I'd be doing and getting ready to give my child for Christmas.